we will now deal with the next skill, which is a skill of probing questions. Now, there are various components which I've already written out on the board. Now, look at the first one. It says prompting technique, where I just taught you the skill of explanation. And now we want to understand whether our children understood the concept. So, we will use the prompting technique. For example, I will divide my class into two sections. I will name this team maybe bones, and name this team maybe muscles. And I will create, a column where I'll write bones, I will write muscle, I will select a leader. Now, what am I doing through this? I'm building skills in my children. I'm building leadership skills. I'm building team skills. I am building cooperation also among my students. Now, the first thing I would probe, I would give them some prompts like, what was the name of the boy? And if you answer out of turn, you're getting a minus point. So if they don't remember, I will say it starts with a B. And then mostly the students would pick up because they enjoyed the listening, the explanation session. But if they don't, I will say it's a 4-letter word, or I will say it starts with a B, or it ends with a U. So I'll try to get the word Balu. And then I will say, how many people were involved in the story? So I'll try to use my fingers. I will say like this, then I will say like this, and then I will bring it together. So I would do some hand movement to make my children understand, to make them feel that they've answered correct. The second technique is seeking further information. So how do I go about this? So I will say, if you have a tree, and if the tree gave you everything whatever Balu received, what would have been your take? Would you behave like Balu? Or would you do something different? If so, what will it be? So I'll allow my children to discuss, and they can come forward, discuss as a group, then come forward and present their ideas. Then I will ask the next group to come forward and present the ideas. So this can be one, or a further information would be, what are the types of trees which are present in our school campus? What are the trees which are grown maybe in your own homes? So like this, I will ask them to collect information. Then we will go on to the concept of refocusing. I will ask them to narrate the story, or I will ask them to share the story supporting Balu, as why Balu went to the tree. The supporting aspect would be, Balu had great confidence in his friend that he could always go and approach the same friend for so many requests. So Balu was very confident that he had the world's best friend and all his needs can be met. So we are refocusing on the confidence of Balu. And then we can also bring in another aspect where the tree is willing to even give its roots for Balu. So why is the tree like that? The tree is extremely generous. The tree is extremely sensitive to Balu's friendship. Trees are always, we can also generalize the concept saying, trees are always ready to meet our needs, whether the tree likes it or not. If we have to cut down this tree and make some furniture, we do it. The tree allows us to do it. So the trees are very supportive, they are very generous, they are very cooperative. Like this, we can bring in the qualities of the trees. And then redirection. Redirection is bringing a twist to the story, or you ask a question and then you give it to this group and you find them not answering, you give it to the next group. Then maybe from that question you ask, like for example, how old was Balu when he asked for apples? Or maybe how big was Balu when he required toys? Was he a big boy or a small boy? So you're giving directions whether the answer should be in two words, whether that's big or small. You're giving redirection. And then the last one is increased critical awareness. So here we can take this story to the environmental aspect, wherein the tree, if the tree had to live, it would have given so much of fresh air for us. It would have given a lot of shade to us. It would have added beauty to our country or beauty to the landscape. If the tree had to live, it would have been a support to make babies sleep. You must have seen on the highways especially, we have the tree and you will find a cradle and there's a baby sleeping and there's a mother who's working somewhere else. So the tree would have been a home to some people. Likewise, you can develop a lot of critical awareness on this one concept of friendship and about the tree. So I hope the skill of probing questions, and don't forget you have to use a variety of questions like how, when, who, where, engage, make them think, make them answer. This may be considered as a waste of time, but this is a very important skill because at the end of the day, you're going to test your children on how they understood the lesson. So if you engage in talking, in doing activities in the class, the children will remember. Even if you give the test to them 1 year later, they will remember this concept because of the engagement, the questions you ask, you make them think, you make them react to the situation. Or you can even ask, why did the author write such a story? What is the author's message to us? So you can even bring in the author in the picture. You can say the author is a bad person. He has shown that the tree is completely demolished, but instead the author could have written a little different story. So what can the story be like? So you bring in a lot of comparison, creativity, and awareness. So this lesson is actually a lesson for life, wherein whenever your children go around and see trees, they should remember Balu and the apple tree. That's the impact you should create while doing such kind of lessons. Thank you.